According to the Annual Homeless Assessment Report, or the AHAR, in 2014, 578,424 people in the U.S. were homeless. 49,933 of these people were veterans. Veterans who fought for you in the free country you live in today. They, in my opinion, are the last people who deserve to be homeless. Now, I don't think anyone deserves to be homeless, don't get me wrong, but I do think some people could work a lot harder at building themselves back up. They just don't have the motivation. What better motivation to build yourself back up than encouragement? For this persuasive speech of policy, I'm going to explain to you why homelessness is a problem, how it's affecting all the communities, and why we need an immediate call to action. Homelessness is happening everywhere. There is not a single map out there that will tell you homelessness population 0 in the entire world. Some states are not as populated with homeless people as others, but they're still there. The worst states experiencing homelessness are California, Florida, and New York, according to the AHAR. Why is this? Why are these places the most populated with homeless people? Well, they're the most populated states to begin with. If everyone else wants to be there, why wouldn't the homeless? Let me tell you why these places are the way they are. It has to do with population and somewhat the climate. Florida is number 3 on the list of top 10 most homeless populated states. Many of the long-term homeless choose to move to regions like Florida to avoid the harsh, cold weather found here in the middle states. More than 80% of the homeless in Florida go unsheltered. Number 2 on the map is New York. How can that be when New York has freezing winters? Nothing about the climate here is necessarily desirable, in my opinion. What happens is people wind up here thinking they're going to make something huge out of themselves. They think they're going to end up on Wall Street. However, New York has some of the steepest real estate prices in the world, and they're able to do this because some of the highest salaries are right there on Wall Street. When you put these two things together, the amazingly high house rates and all the money being made on Wall Street, you start to get a feel as to why a majority of the people in New York are homeless. Along with Florida, California is the perfect climate for a long-term homeless person. California is not surprisingly number 1 on the list of most homeless populated states. California is often mistaken as the land of opportunity, where people go to find fame and fortune. Hollywood's there, what's better? The unsheltered homeless rate here is an incredible 86.6%. All of this information was founded by Plunkett, 2014. The effects of homelessness that homelessness has on our community is atrocious. For instance, prostitute and drug trafficking are some of the most common illegal activities homeless teens participate in, according to Gregerson, 2012. The average age of a prostitute in Miami is 14. I can hardly visualize girls my age living as prostitutes in places like Vegas or Los Angeles or anywhere at all. Homelessness does affect every community. Not as negatively as it does in some places, but the homeless need things. Essentials include food programs, shelter programs, day centers, medical centers. Who do you think pays for this? We do, with our tax dollars. Stated in Homelessness 2008. When these essentials are not around or are not known about, stealing becomes a necessity in order for the homeless to stay alive. Whether it be stealing food for their family so they don't starve, or stealing items like clothes or other things from department stores when it gets cold or wet to stay warm to avoid sickness. We once again fork over the bill for these things, also stated in Homeless 2008. Why we need an immediate call to action versus being passive-aggressive about this is because the most effective way to reduce the number of homeless people in our communities is to help them become productive. We cannot be passive-aggressive about that. It needs to happen now. Homelessness 2008 stated that in 2012, 35.4% of the U.S. population was living on welfare. That's equivalent to 109,631,000 people. I believe a good portion of those could be homeless people. We could decrease the number of people living on welfare and the unemployment rate by helping these people find jobs to earn their own money to support themselves and get off the welfare plan. To conclude, homelessness is a huge problem that needs to have an immediate call to action. I have showed you how this is a problem, why it's a problem, how it's affecting our communities, and why we cannot be passive aggressive about this. I hope these major statistics have opened your eyes to what is really there. I know the problem doesn't seem so prominent in places like Grand Island, but in reality, there are at least 100 homeless people right here in front of us. Nebraska has a total of an estimated 3,026 homeless people according to the 2013 map located in the AHAR 2014. For our size, that isn't bad, but I was still surprised to see that high of a number in the thousands for us. So tell me, does it seem like a problem now?